Welcome to another day, another week of Ether Raids. This is Astra Anima. We're starting off with Jadar
I'm ready to fight.
Ahim, I think. And yeah, we're gonna get things off the road with our save ball here to get things into focus. I was like really contemplating trying to Gale Force this with like Felix and stuff, but Panette on that team is missing some health. She's no longer bonus, so she's not meeting the HP threshold to be able to clear hex traps. Not that it wouldn't matter on this map in particular, but I feel like I kind of need the merges on her now, so I'm kind of like holding off using that team until I can figure out how to get it to work properly, because it also like really functioned well because of Jimbro being bonus, and I had to swap him out for Reagan, and Reagan doesn't really provide, buffs like that. I guess I could maybe give her like tactics and see if that would work. How many infantries do I got on that team? I got it. Probably work if I give her like speed tactics. I'll consider that. But the bonus doubler was like a really big boon in terms of like just being able to get those extra stats in combat and out of combat. It really worked out well in my favor, and it would have made a map like this a lot easier to clear. The problem also is that with that team, typically, what do I want to say? Panette is the initiator. Because I'm not running Fury on her, she really needs like some way to take damage, and that wouldn't have happened unless she was able to get into combat with, let's say, Nurgle or Freyr, because she would have lost to Felix. So that wouldn't have been in my benefit or in my favor. So it would be difficult to get the Wings of Mercy plays off unless I was running Fury on her, which she doesn't have in her kit. I went more for the guaranteed Gale Force with Flash Sparrow and some null follow-up in there because she doesn't have a guaranteed follow-up in her weapon. So that's really the build, but it also isn't really the best build for where the meta is currently, because there's a lot of bulky units that are currently like frontlining. So I don't know if that team will stick around in its current state, because
Close your eyes.
I would need a better initiator or a more consistent initiator, but also Panette makes the whole AoE Felix thing work. So if I dropped her, then Felix no longer has his AoE. So it's really tricky in terms of how that would pan out. I don't know what to do with that team currently since Jimbro isn't bonus. I might like drop it all together and build a different Gale Force team, but then every other Gale Force team that I can think of is gonna need some initiator that can do damage to like bulky units. So yeah, it's a work in progress. I don't know what I'm gonna do just yet, but I'll figure it out. And I kind of like to have the Felix team, and I really like AoE Felix. So, but also to do that I need Panette. So I'm in a rock and a hard place here. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the. Well, I mean, I could give him Mystic Boost. Maybe I should. Was I running that last week? No, I was running extra HP. Just so that Felix isn't doing like this much damage. It's kind of annoying. I mean, I do have the Hardy Fighter Pavis Marth ring, but these numbers are pretty big. I mean, red versus blue, Felix should not be doing this much. This is kind of crazy. So I don't know. Maybe I'll consider giving him the Marth ring, the Mystic Boost seal, just so that I don't have to look at that much damage potentially from Felix. But here we are. We're gonna try to figure this out in terms of like getting the units off the board here. Hinoka is here because I had to run the bonus unit, and all the other bonus units didn't really make a lot of sense. There wasn't any range units really on that Fjorm banner. I mean, that one made Cav doesn't really. I wouldn't count dagger units. So here we are with Hinoka, who has actually fallen into really hard times. She's just not able to do any damage, pretty much. So,
why not?
this is an excuse to use Hinoka. Here she is. I think I want to change her A skill to Verge of Death, because true damage, it just makes sense. I mean, it's not 9, which you can potentially get from the catch, but the true damage scales with her armor effectiveness. So that's an option that I kind of want to explore, but I also don't want to fodder any copies of Ursula, so I'm kind of hoping to pick up a spear. It's only on one other unit. It's only on Brain, come on. Ascended Celica, Emblem Celica, so that I can fodder that. And I think I have it on one of my fodder banks, maybe. We'll see. I'll double check just to be sure, but that's like one planned upgrade of Hinoka. Deadeye still puts in work, it's just that she's hitting a lot of zeros with all of the flat damage reduction that's actually just running around. She's not beating any armored units currently. So really, like, she's really like fallen off hard in terms of just even like a lot of what she does has been like completely outsourced or broken down into separate skills that IS is just giving out for like no reason whatsoever. She's lost a lot of her uniqueness, so but she's still a legendary unit. Hopefully she'll get a really good refine in the future, refine and remix. I think she will, because she does a lot of good. I think she'll age well because of the armor effective damage. It's just that she needs the extra damage output, which I'm sure they'll rectify when she gets her remix and refine. But for now, she is struggling. Aside from that, I really contemplated in terms of whether or not I should go with Hardy Bearing or Phantom Res for Veil here. And I ended up going with Hardy Bearing. Well, is this one the Hardy? No, this one is the Phantom Res one. Just to get the extra stats. Since I'm tanking and all, it just makes sense. Let's see what Gatry does here. There's like only one other range unit here, and it's Mirabolous, and she can't reach. So this is pretty much just Gatry all day. What's weird here is that he was doubling just a moment ago, but he's no longer doubling. Felix, I mean. But now he is? That's weird. He doesn't have no follow-up, so I don't know. That's really peculiar.
Leave my sight.
60. What? Whoa, hold up. Roll that back. What just happened? Oh, did my... Oh. Did it not trigger? Huh? What just happened there? How did he end up doing 64? That's so bizarre. What just happened there? Hold up. Hold up. What just happened there? Man, sometimes I really wonder about, like, if I should actually give Gatry Shield Fighter, but for situations like that, because that was like totally random. Why didn't the Hardy Fighter trigger there? Because I wasn't hit by guard. There was no Hush Spectrum, which wouldn't have mattered anyway. So I don't know. That was really bizarre. Literally almost died for no reason. Like, that's so bizarre. I mean, yeah, I could have run Execution instead of Pavis, but I really do feel like Pavis is... It just makes sense, since I can just put the Marth Ring on him. I don't have any other uses for it, aside from probably putting it on Hinoka, but that was really bizarre. Why didn't my defensive special trigger there? That's so weird. But anyways, I guess this is probably like our... Well, actually, no. This is our first test of Astra Anima, where the new mythics, or the latest mythics, are not bonus. So we're actually seeing how they'll perform in just like regular season.
I don't back down.
Pretty interesting so far. Normally, Jimbro is able to take out Felix. This isn't by any means a really stacked out Felix here. He's just... I don't know, he probably just has a... Oh, there we go. We get this. Okay. Debuffs help. He doesn't really have that much of a build. I know I'm not moving like a ton of spaces. So, I mean, that could be a part of it. But really, Jimbro, like, that's actually really close. He would probably have won that if Jimbro wasn't bonus, or was bonus. So, these are some new matchups, or these are like matchups that I'm gonna have to like try to figure out again, because also like even like I was doing a little bit of testing, and Ather is like way less bulky without the plus 10 to her health and the +4 to her defense. She's like way less bulky. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they'll fit moving forward. I was kind of surprised last Astra Anima that they actually gave us the bonus gave them another bonus season. That's really rare. They should have been rotated, and not like, because they had just like come off their bonus month, so to get another week was quite a surprise. So that was really interesting. So now we're seeing them finally being rotated, and it's gonna be an interesting week to see if Jimbro really warrants his spot on offense teams. I really do love the bonus stats, and the fact that he can, like, you know, provide some combat prowess. But like, for a tank team, I really don't know who I would put in terms of like the mythics that are there. My Satyr doesn't get the... she has the turn ending thing, but she wouldn't really provide me with the mobility on the turns that I'd really need it. And plus, you also got to take into consideration the distance thing. That's a thing that you got to worry about as well. And then also there's firm Canto Stomp, so there's also that. And then who else is left? I mean, I could run maybe Thor to get special acceleration, and then Hater, like Summoner Baby, doesn't really fit in this team either. And then Reagan provides literally nothing to this team, so there was no reason to put her on here. I think I'm gonna have to tank Mirabilis here with Jimbro, since I don't have any other way to stall her out to get to the pots. So this will have to be the play. And we get Freyr. Okay. So yeah, interesting. This will definitely be an interesting week. I think we're gonna get a Halloween banner. I think there'll be a save unit on that. We just got a save armor. That's pretty meta. So they probably won't put another save armor on the banner that's like right at... Well, I say that we just got one, but that was like way at the beginning of the month, no? And it's a whole new month now, so I'm pretty sure there's, you know, enough time has passed for them to, like, that's what, at least 4 weeks. They can power creep the armor unit if they want to at this point. I think, because typically the Halloween banner doesn't have any ranged units on it, unless it's like a ranged healer, so I could probably see a ranged healer on the Halloween banner. That would make sense, unless they just want to throw out something completely unscripted, or just something completely new and give us an actual range unit for Halloween. But what would that be? Like, how would you really fit that in? It's typically like a dragon and beast, a dragon banner, because beast units get New Year's, so it's typically a dragon banner, or Omni tanks. So well, I know they did the whole thing with Tamara last year, which was kind of like a deviation from the norm. So unless they want to continue in that, unless they want to discontinue that trend, then again, we might not even get a Halloween banner this year. That's something that probably... Is the thing out? I don't think they projected that far into October. I'll double check. It'd be interesting. Well, you guys would probably have already, by now, I'm sure by the time that this video is posted, you would have already found out whether or not there's a Halloween banner or not. I feel like the Halloween banner has kind of lost some of its steam, because they're not... It's a great banner to put out new dragon units, but the past couple dragon units, or the past couple of banners that we've gotten, they really haven't given too much, aside from the Halloween Duma, which I thought was like the best thing that they've done so far on the Halloween banner. So they would really have to blow it out of the park for this one to make me want to summon on the Halloween banner. I don't want another Omni tank. I feel like I'm good as far as that's concerned. So yeah, it's either, unless it's an armored unit with a new B skill, or a ranged nuke that actually makes sense, I'm probably gonna skip. I feel like I'll probably skip the Halloween banner, if we even get a Halloween banner at all. But by now, I'm sure you all already know what's going on as it relates to that. And you know, whatever it is, hopefully it's something that we can all skip, because I'm sure collectively we can use a breather at this point. I'm sure we're pretty much all out of orbs. There's still banners that we're still summoning on, because there are good units on those banners, like the legendary banner that just came out. So yeah, but yeah, September really flew by. It's already October, and It's going to be interesting to see what this month holds. I'm actually looking forward more to November. I think that's when we get the next mythic, if I'm not mistaken. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be a light mythic, which I don't really think we need another light mythic. I really think we need another dark mythic, or at least hopefully they do a combo and give us 2, light and dark. That would be beneficial, kind of like what they did with Astra Anima with the latest mythics there. So that would be pretty cool if they were to do that. I think that they might, because they haven't really given us that many units from the story. So that would be pretty... I would appreciate that greatly. Yeah, so hopefully IS decides to do that. But in any case, we got the pots here. This one took a bit longer than I would have liked, since I was just trying to be a little bit careful. I realized I've been a bit sloppy with my save tanking lately, so I try to play this one a lot closer to the chest in terms of just being cautious. But here's the win. GG's. Let's play one more since it's the first day. Alright, here's our second match for the day. We're taking on Nami. And we're gonna go with Sita. I was really considering like going onto that banner with Byleth, legendary Byleth, to get another to spark Sita, so that I can fodder speed defense unity to Tamara, but I really don't want any more Byleths. I have enough. I already have a +10 legendary Byleth, and everything else on that banner is pretty trash, so yeah, I kind of want to not do that. I'm kind of hoping that we get a rerun of either the... Well, I want a rerun of either the Micaiah banner or the Brave Erica banner, so that I have, like, considerable fodder on those 2 units, those 2 rearmed Rotune units, so I kind of want to, you know, get some more copies so I can pass stuff around. Also, I feel like this Erica, I kind of want to +10 her, just because of how she like the Vantage niche that she... I really like the Vantage playstyle, so I kind of want to invest in her just a bit more, because she's fairly decent. It's just that she needs speed investment so that she can consistently meet the speed check required to get the Vantage off, which I think is going to be progressively difficult for her as we get new units moving forward. So there's that. And I also kind of want to give her the No-C Echo. I feel like I could probably like skip that and give her Times Pulse Echo, which is something that I want to do. But Tamara hates me, so you know, what can you do? Alphonse here, I didn't have any other team really set up to like tank. I could have used the Ike team because I've kind of landed on Ike just being in Astra Anima, but I think he would have gotten quadded by Bernie, and that might have been bad, so I decided to not do that. Although I don't think with support Bernie would have been able to take him out. I just didn't want to run the risk of dealing with that. And also, I could have struggled to take out Alphonse, and that would have just been a headache to deal with. No one on that team would have been able to take out Alphonse. So here we are. Armor effective damage and armor cav effective damage should work in my favor. I wanted to put Bernie on a team this week, but again, I just decided to go with someone else. For this one, I decided to go with Leon. Dual Leon. He still has a ton of value because of the end turn thing. A lot of people didn't pull for firm Canto Stomp, which is what I've been looking all over for it, like in just like the matches that I've been playing, even against like the top ranked players that play Ether Raids consistently. I'm just not coming across that much of it. They probably have it for like summer duels, but like for Ether Raids defense building, you would really need it on specific units. Like let's say Nurgle, I feel would be a good pick. Probably like even Gatekeeper and Brave Robin, the female one. But outside of that, there really aren't that many options that you could run the skill on. You can run it on anyone that's already running Canto Control for you, but it looks like most people didn't pull for that skill, so at least for Ether Raids. So I don't feel like there's any harm or fear. Like if you want to run your dual Leon, feel free to do so. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Aside from the whole Breath of Life being everywhere thing, that is an issue for Leon. But I was really trying to build a separate melee Guild Force team that can actually work, but because, you know, I was saying earlier that the one with Felix is kind of like it's really dependent on the buffs from Jinbro, and since he's not available, the bonus doubler, I could like probably fit someone else in that offers bonus doubler, but then I'd be wasting a dance, and I'd be down in Mythic, and also I'd have to replace them with one of the units that's actually bonus. So no, I don't want to do that. It would definitely be Thea, but I don't want to re-bless her, so
I won't lose.
there's that. So yeah, nah, I'm just not gonna do that. So yeah, the teams, I feel like my teams this week are kind of up in the air. I feel I don't have a ranged team because Duo Fjorm is pretty much like everywhere, and I think she will continue to be everywhere after her bonus season is ended. I kind of feel like this is where she takes over Mer, because even for the last defense that I built for Light and Dark season, it didn't even like affect me not having the Warp Bubble. And that says a lot, because Warp Bubble is like really good, and it didn't even matter because even though like they could, you know, still warp in, they couldn't kill anything, which was the big. That was one of the main reasons that we wanted to like Winter Edelgard, or like teams that had Winter Edelgard comps, because of, you know, warp gale forcing. We typically would like want Gatekeeper there, because if our save died, then we could prevent them from warping in with Gatekeeper. But if your save doesn't die, then no one can warp in and attack. I mean, they can still warp in, but they can't attack and take out your defense. So the substitute for Warp Bubble is just bulky defensive units. And I was saying, like, to someone I was speaking to, that the attack stat for a lot of these defensive units these days doesn't even matter. You just want high defense and res, which is something that I noticed. The speed is irrelevant because you're going to get doubled either way, because you can stack a lot of offensive stats these days just by running like mythics and summoner supported, and buffs are just available for you on offense as opposed to defense. So for defense, you really want to lean heavily into defense and res, so that your armored unit can survive the hits, which is kind of what's going on with Murney here. I kind of want to build Murney, but on the off chance that there's some armored save on the Halloween banner, I am holding off. Luckily, the next season after this is going to be Chaos season, so I was planning on putting Marnie on defense for Dark season, so I get another 2 weeks to wait. That will give me enough time to see what's going to be on the next banner before I like commit to the fodder on Marnie here. It's a real pain that she can't get the special cooldown to run Pavis instead of Exclusion, because Pavis is so much better on her if you're able to make it work. So yeah, that really sucks. I don't know. I can't think. I'd love to find a way to give her a +2 special. This Marnie just won't die here, and I kind of need her to die because the game is over, and I don't want her attacking Plumeria. So. That trap is probably real. Tell you what, this is fake, no? Yeah, because I stepped on the real one earlier. So we'll do this, and then Sita can wrap it up for us. So yeah. Yeah, Marnie, I feel definitely a good investment, if not for the fact that Felix is red and he does a ton of damage to her. But she can typically survive, especially with reopening. I feel like we need B skills that aren't Shield Fighter and Hardy Fighter that does stuff like reopening. I feel like is the next best thing because of the flat damage reduction. So we need, well, at least I think we're going to get a B skill for armored units, or maybe even an attune skill that just gives them flat damage reduction so that they can run the other fighter skills. But that's just me speculating. We're done for today. GG's. See you in the next match.